Whew. Did I unplug that fan? No, I didn't. We need a fan. Oh, I wasn't really thinking clearly when I made it for this time. Whew. Oh, oh Lord. Sweating. You want sweaty boob? You don't want sweaty boob, do you? I wouldn't want sweaty boob. Okay. Let me see. Very dark. Okay, honey. Okay. Let's see here. Let me get my baby situated. Okay. Here. You got it? Here. Let me lift you up. There we go. Here we go, honey. You got it? Okay. Whew. Well, y'all definitely gonna be seeing my boob. Because I'm feeding my baby. If I want a minute to talk. Just put her on the breast. I made it. I made it to live on SMYLE. I didn't even have a chance to remind anyone. It's all good. Oh, I'm just trying to cool down for a minute. That looks so crazy right there. Okay. I have them all up because they're usually in my way. Oh! Yep. And that's what we do in our diaper, isn't it? We just cut loose like that in our diaper, right? Nothing wrong with it. It's just what we do. Say, I eat real good and I poop real good. You got some more coming out? She got that face. That serious face. Ooh, you pushing. Get it out, baby. Get it all out. Is it staying in the diaper at least? Get it on out so mommy can change your booty. Oh, okay. You done? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not going to stay on very long because I don't have any viewers currently, and for someone to go back and watch it, I don't want it to be a super long video. Let me wipe this off. So, hey, honey. Okay. And I'm coming on here this evening, and every Thursday evening I'm just going to be sharing a little bit of my experiences, a little bit of my backstory, a little bit of history on SMYLE, because people see it, they love it, they love me, they love the energy, they love the mission and the purpose and the vision for SMYLE. But not many people know why I started SMYLE or how SMYLE came about. So now that I'm cooled off, I'm going to cut this fan off so you can hear me. I think. Or maybe not. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me bring you over here. Let me bring you over here. Hopefully you're able to hear me. Hold on, let me adjust this thing back here. Yep. Okay. So like I said, I don't want to stay on too long. I'm trying to not get my baby and my breast in the video, but it's kind of inevitable because that's what I'm doing right now. But a little bit of backstory about SMYLE. SMYLE is schooling mothers of youth on loving effectively. And really what I wanted to portray, or the mission and purpose of loving effectively, is we all have been loved differently. We all have experienced love differently. And that's not to say that there's like a right and wrong way to love. But when it comes to, you know, like generational curses and generational trauma that has been passed on, we have to consider what love looks like for our children, and what love looks like in our relationships, and what love looks like, because it differs from person to person. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with love languages. There's like 5 to 7 different love languages, and I'm not going to go over them right now. I'll post them on the SMYLE page just as a reminder, but you really have to get in tune with yourself. And what we do at SMYLE is we help you find out who you are, you know, as far as ancestry, as far as astrology, the day you were born. We kind of find out like what your path was for being born that day, and then we give you some tools and we set you on your path to be your authentic self, you know, because once you learn more about yourself, it changes your whole life, you know. And so loving effectively really is about learning ourselves, us as the parents, learning who we are, where we come from, what our purpose is, because that can better help us to be our authentic selves, so that we can be better parents for our children, and better, you know, sisters, and better brothers, and better aunties, and better nieces, and better spouses or partners. So that's where the whole loving effectively came from. We are schooling. Like SMYLE is, the vision is a school setting. Like you are going to come to class and you're going to learn about affirmations. You're going to learn which affirmations you need to post up for yourself. You're going to learn what kind of paper you're going to write it on, what color ink you need to use, how many times a day you need to repeat it to yourself. So it really is schooling. You really are learning something about not just yourself, but your environment, your surroundings, your friends, your families, the type of jobs you like. I mean, I have mothers who didn't even know they liked to paint. They had never painted before, and we all went to a paint and sip, and it was just like, oh, like, this is amazing. Like, I really enjoy doing this. So it really is schooling. You really are learning something that you haven't learned before. So a little backstory about me. I don't know how far back I want to go as far as my healing process and what I've been overcoming, but I lost my father when I was 4. He passed away of kidney failure. He was going through dialysis, and it didn't do exactly what we hoped it would do. So that's one thing. My father was very young. So one thing that I struggle with is feeling like I can't wait to change my health, change things about my lifestyle in the way that I eat and drinking and stuff like that, because I feel like I don't have a lot of time, so I'm working on that. I'm working on that. But that was a very traumatic experience, losing my father that young. And my mom, well, the thing about my father was, they had some addictions, alcohol or whatnot. And so he decided to make a change, and I don't know if his body didn't like that change, or his body was just like, whoa, what you doing? And so it just seemed like as soon as he made the decision to change, his body started shutting down on him, and so that's very unfortunate. I would have loved to have my father around in my life, but everything happens for a reason. I do have him in the metaphysical world, and he does look after me. He is one of my guides, and so I appreciate that. My mother also dealt with addictions, and that's the title of my next book, is The Daughter of an Addict. And it's so funny because my husband's like, why do you have to use that word? Like, that's a word that they put on our people to make us, feel a certain kind of way and fit inside of a certain kind of box. And I get that. However, a lot of people identify with the word addict. So he's like, well, why can't you just be the daughter of a misguided woman? And it's like, that doesn't have the same effect to me. So y'all let me know what y'all think. The daughter of a misguided woman, because really my mom having an addiction, it wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault. It's like, I'm not going to get into the whole story of how crack cocaine got into our communities, because it makes my blood boil. It really does. So we'll talk about that at a different time. However, it was very convenient for the entities that put the crack cocaine in our communities. It was like they broke us down first, stripped the jobs away. Fathers came back from the military just mentally, emotionally, physically messed up. They, started breaking families, apart with the prison system. I mean, it was just like they was just breaking us down and making us very weak and vulnerable, and then presented this substance to us that made us feel like we were on such a high that none of that stuff bothered us anymore. And so it's just very unfortunate that my mother was dealing with a lot of pain. She lost her mother at a very young age. I believe she was like 11 when my grandmother passed away. And my mother came from a big family. She had 10 siblings. It was 10 of them total. And, they came at different times. They weren't all like back-to-back or stair children. So my mom was one of the 3 youngest children. But she was the oldest of those youngest 3. and then she had 2 younger sisters. So it's just like, not only did she lose her mom, but she had to totally relocate from Kentucky to Ohio. I'm not really sure what happened with my grandfather. She really didn't talk about her past a lot. Like, you know how like your parent would sit down and like tell you stories? Like, I didn't really hear a lot of stories because there was just not a lot of, I guess, not a lot of positive things she had to say, you know. But I know that she started abusing alcohol and drugs at a very young age, and she did it for all her life, you know. So she just never really you know, got the help really that she needed. And so I'm a big advocate for that. You know, I'm a big advocate for, and that's why I went on to become a life coach, because I want to help people work through that pain, work through that trauma. I just want to be able to be a light for someone who feels like they're stuck in the dark, because we all get in dark places, but we don't have to stay there. And so I just really enjoy just being a light for people who feel like they're in the dark. You know, it's like you can just say one thing to guide a person to a little bit of light, and it can change everything. You know, so in 2010 was a rough year, because that's the year my mom passed away. She's been gone for 11 years now. It was August 10th, and I got a phone call the night before she passed from a family member who was there with her, telling me that if someone didn't come get her or didn't intervene in her life, that she wasn't going to be around for much longer. And here I am, it's like almost 11 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting there with my 2 toddlers tucked up under me. They're sleeping. I have to get up and go to work the next day. And so I had to make a decision. Do I disrupt my household tonight, which is something that can potentially have me out all night, knowing I have to go to work tomorrow? Or do I just wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow I get off work early? I made the decision to put my babies down in a bed, to lay myself down in a bed and prepare for work, and I'll deal with whatever my mom is going through with the next day. So what I did was, when I got to work that morning, I called my mom. First of all, my family member was there, and I don't even think they called 911. Like, what was you even doing there? I know what they was doing there, but we ain't even gonna go there. However, it was like, well, why didn't you call for help? You know, like, but anyway, it's just neither here nor there. So the next morning I got to work and I called my mom, and I won't say she answered. I still don't believe it was her, because the voice was different, and the voice tried to make it seem like it was my mom. But I don't believe it was my mom. She just kept saying she came down with a cold or some bull crap. So I just kept repeating, I'm coming there today. I'm getting off work early because I have a dentist appointment, and I'll be there today. So I'm going to come see you and check on you today. Okay? So I was able, thankfully, to go pick up my husband. After my dentist appointment, we went to my mom's apartment, and she had a lady staying there with her. A lady that 2 weeks prior I tried to put out. I tried to put this lady out of my mama's house. Almost got into a physical altercation with this lady. And my mom begged me to let her stay because she was her friend. This lady was like one of those home health aides who becomes a friend and then ends up moving in because she's seen, you know, she just took advantage of my mom. But they had things in common. They had pain in common. So they would get high, they would get drunk, whatever the hell they was doing, okay? And, you know, so 2 weeks prior to my mom passing away, me and all my sisters ended up in the hospital where she was, because she was dehydrated. and she was down to 112 pounds, and we had to figure out what we were going to do. I was living in a 2-bedroom, like, duplex, and I don't know. What I'm working with is overcoming feeling guilty. Feeling guilty that I didn't make a sacrifice to, move her into my place, that I didn't make the sacrifice and go to her apartment that night when my family member called me. So I deal with trauma, and that's a big reason why I started SMYLE. And it's so funny because when I was at my desk working at one of the 9-to-5 jobs, and we have to do what we have to do, but we also have to continue to work on our vision while we're at that 9-to-5, and that's what I was doing every day. So I knew I wanted the nonprofit organization to be SMYLE with a Y instead of an I, but I didn't know what that acronym was going to stand for. And then it came to me. I had to at least go through like 20 different acronyms before I came up with what SMYLE stood for. But it was really because I feel like I had lost my smile. And this was 2012. So this was about 2 years later. 2 years later after my mom's death. And I mean, I was dealing with my pain. I just found myself going down the same dark hole, that my mom was in. And I didn't want that. It was like to the point where I was drinking every day, heavily. And, it took for my husband to like take pictures of me. Like, I would just be passed out. I would just be passed out on the couch, like still in my clothes. Sometimes I would come in the house from the bar drunk, still have my coat on, and just be passed out. And I didn't want to be that kind of mother. I didn't want to pass that on. Hold on, let me turn this fan off because I don't want her getting too chilly. Okay. I saw something in myself that I didn't want to see. And I saw myself becoming someone I didn't want to be, and so I started SMYLE for myself. I wanted to be able to find my authentic, genuine smile again. I didn't want my smile to come from the bottom of the tequila bottle. I didn't want my smile to come from the bottom of the margarita glass. I didn't want my smile to come from the bottom of the shot glass. I wanted my smile to be authentic. I wanted my smile to be there consistently, whether I was high or not. Not that I was getting high off crack, but I was like, oh yeah, we smoking? We getting high? Oh, y'all got some trees? Oh yeah, well, we about to get it in, and I just felt like I needed that in order to smile. And I didn't want my children to see me like that. I didn't want my children, because see, growing up when I was a young child, that's what I saw. Like, we partied. Like, my mom and her sisters, they partied. They kicked it. And they stayed close together, so they were always together. Like, they lived... My mom was the only one that lived on the west side, but her 2 younger sisters, they all stayed pretty close together. I mean, well, we started out in the projects, so we were literally able to walk like right across the way and all be together, so that's what I saw growing up. And I can remember thinking like, man, I can't wait to become an adult, because man, we're gonna party, nigga, we're gonna get towed up, it's gonna be fun. But like, what kind of future is that to look forward to? Like, man, we're gonna be throwing house parties, it's gonna be going, and I just was like, that's not the goals that I want my children to have. I don't want my children to be like, man, I can't wait till I get old enough to get me a margarita, or I can't wait till I learn how to roll me a blunt. Like, no, we can't continue to pass on these generational curses. Like, we can't continue to pass this pain and trauma on. And and like the pain and the trauma, like, sometimes that's inevitable. That's what shapes us. That's what makes us who we are. That's what teaches us our lessons. And, that's what makes us stronger, if we learn how to overcome, but it's all about the coping mechanisms. Like, that was the key. It was like, okay, well, we need to learn how to have healthier coping mechanisms. Like my mother dealt and coped with her pain and her trauma by drinking and by getting high, doing drugs. I can remember being 3 years old. Well, it was after my father passed and before I got taken away from my mom. So I had to be about 4.5. I can remember riding in the back of the car with my mom, her boyfriend, and they had another friend, and it would be a bag of needles. Like, it would be my mom's boyfriend driving. It would be my mom in the passenger seat. It would be their friend right there. It would be the bag of needles right in the middle, and I'm right here by this window. And we would be down somewhere under a bridge, and they would be doing what they did, and I'll be sitting right there, so I just really watched things fall apart around us when my father passed away. It was like before my father passed away, my mom was working at my school. Like I was going to daycare. It was right down the street. We would walk every day. And she was working there, and I can remember she used to wear this beautiful lipstick. She liked like shades of red, but like brownish red, like a darker red, not like a bright red, because it went so good with her skin complexion. And she had like a short afro that she would pick out. Oh my God, just beautiful. She is just such a beautiful woman. Her energy and her smile, her confidence was just so beautiful and so bright. And I just watched it go from bright to dark. It's like I watched her go from having a purpose and living her life to sadness and confusion. It was like my father was the glue that held everything together. And he wasn't perfect. I talk about that in my book, some memories I have of him. He wasn't perfect, but he held it down. He got my mom up out the projects, that's for sure, because we was living in Garfield Heights. We wasn't in the projects anymore. But when I was born, by the time I was born, I believe we lived in Garfield. But when my mom was pregnant with me, they were still in Longwood. Down off of like 30, I think she said like 36th, down there, off of Woodland, Longwood. But I watched her go into a dark place. And it was just like everything just happened so fast. It was like my father passed away. I remember seeing him in a casket, and then the next thing you know, there's like this whole different man living in our house with my mom, and I'm like, what the hell? So I talk about that in my book as well, who that guy was and his relationship and how they ended up getting married and things like that. So, yeah, so there's there's that. There's how SMYLE came about. I wanted to not only help other people, but I needed to help myself. I needed to find a way to help me, learn how to help me so that I can help other women learn how to help themselves. Because sometimes we can't pull a person through the fire. Sometimes we got to give them the instructions and let them pull themselves through the fire, because if you don't learn on your own how to pull yourself through the fire, then every time you present it with the fire, you stuck. You don't know how to get through it. If I keep on picking you up, bringing you over the fire, sacrificing myself, coming through the fire, never teaching you how to do it, then when you present it with your own fire, you stuck. But if I teach you how to get through that fire, Lord. It ain't a fire that you won't be able to go through, I tell you that. So that's what SMYLE was all about. I had to do something to motivate myself to come through the fire, to fan off the flames, you know, to not add any more fuel or gasoline to the fire to make it bigger. I'm trying to diminish this thing, not make it bigger, you know. And so SMYLE did it, this non-profit organization. And it was September 13th, 2013, when I made it an official nonprofit organization in the state of Ohio. And from there, we've been doing monthly Be Amazing support group meetings in the library, different libraries all over Cleveland. We've been doing donation drives where we have been giving like Dress for Success clothing to women who are going to interviews and who are learning how to fill out job applications, you know, because there is a look, you know, there is a look that you have to have, and there is certain vocabulary that you need to learn, you know, and so that's what the schooling part is, you know. It's like we gotta learn how to navigate through this game, through this matrix, in order to, you know, fulfill our goals and fulfill our dreams and, you know, work with our passions and stuff like that. So that's really how it all started, you know, and I'm just thankful that I have been able to find my authentic smile. I have, well, I just had a baby. I don't even remember the last time I had a drink, like been drinking liquor. Like I probably like I haven't had a drink of liquor since maybe November, maybe this time last year. And not even then. Not even then, because I was going through some back problems and I had surgery. I don't think I really had a drink of liquor since like July of 2020. And that says a lot. Because pregnant or not, some women still throw them back, but not me. You know, so if you see me smiling, just know I worked, honey. Worked, did to get this smile. And it didn't have to come from the bottom of a shot glass. It didn't have to come from the bottom of the whiskey bottle. It didn't have to come from the bottom of a whiskey glass. I found out what I needed to do to find my authentic smile. And this organization is about helping other women who are dealing with trauma. You know, I mean, I've worked with women who've been molested as a child. I mean, we have to realize that this childhood trauma, like this, follows us into adulthood. It follows us our whole lives. And if we don't work on it, it turns toxic. You know, and then we don't realize that it hurts our relationships. It hurts our future business relationship. It hurts our children. It hurts our future. So I'm going to end this live video because I don't want it to be too long. I want someone, at least one person, to tune in and watch it and feel inspired. And just know that SMYLE is here. I am here. I am taking on new clients for life coaching. We're just going by donations. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to vent to, if you need just someone to just hear you, especially if you're the daughter of an addict, just know that I'm here. I'm not going to speak outside of anything that I haven't experienced, but I have experienced a lot. And if it's something that I can't help you with, I do have other people that I work with, other collaborations, other partners. So if I can't get you on the right path, then I definitely can connect you to someone who can. But do not hesitate to reach out. Do not hesitate to like this page, like this post. Tell someone about us, follow us, email us. We will be starting up new monthly support groups in the city of Canton. I am looking for people to partner up with so that we can do this in multiple places at the same time. But just until then, just reach out, do your affirmations, get you some index cards. I was about to grab one, but I don't think I have them up here. Get you some index cards, get you a sticky tape, get you a piece of paper, tape it up on your mirror, even if you have to write on the mirror itself. Just let yourself know, I am beautiful, I am talented, I am smart, I am loved, I love, I am brilliant, I'm a good mother, I'm tenacious, I'm assertive. I mean, whatever it is that you're looking to be more of, you need to remind yourself that you are already. And just smile. Grateful. Find the littlest thing to be grateful for every day. Because if you can find the littlest thing to be grateful for, then things will grow that you will be grateful for. Things will grow. Okay, y'all. I love y'all. I'm out. Baby Amari, she's knocked out with her mouth open. But as soon as I put her down, watch she wake up. But it's all good. I love y'all. Y'all see my hair? I really needed to be done, but I've just detangled it. And we're going to see from there. But I love y'all. I love you. I love you. I love you. If nobody told you today, I have. I love you unconditionally because it's not your fault. Whatever trauma, whatever pain you're going through, whatever you're feeling, whatever you feel guilty about, it's not your fault. And we can work through it. Just know that. All right. I love y'all. Peace.